15 minutes of Q&A. So if you're new to 1 Million Cups, which many of you are, please introduce yourself when you ask your question. That would be helpful for all of us. Thank you to our sponsors, our community sponsors, American Ice Cafe down the street. They provide the coffee this morning. The baked goods, of course, are from next door, Jeannie Bird Baking Company. So thank you to both of them for providing those. Gabby, are we already streaming?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. And I'm Graham Dodge. I'm with Magic. We're the host for 1 Million Cups here today. We do technology, education, workforce development, economic development here in the city of Westminster. We are also supported by Startup Portal, who's another community sponsor here who hosts 1 Million Cups from their facility sometimes. So be sure to check where we're hosting it whenever you decide to come visit us on Wednesday mornings, because sometimes we'll have it over at Startup Portal on 140. And the CEO of Startup Portal, Rick Leinbach, is there in the back. So thank you, Rick. I'll just run through real quick a few minutes about what 1 Million Cups is and what we're all about. Good morning, Jack.
Good morning.
So the mission of 1 Million Cups is to lower the barrier for access to education, resources, and connections for entrepreneurs. This mission does not get accomplished without the pillars and the core program, which are that this is about presentations, not pitches. This is about connection, not networking. The culture is to be for the community, by the community. Nobody has ownership of 1 Million Cups Westminster. Nobody should be paid to do 1 Million Cups Westminster. And we are radically and intentionally inclusive. I should also note that 1 Million Cups is a program of the Kauffman Foundation based in Kansas City. They're the largest philanthropic organization set up to support entrepreneurship in the U.S. Our core program design is that we meet every week, Wednesdays at 9 a.m. We have 2 presenters like today, whenever possible. The presenters' organizations must be less than 5 years old and willing to ask for help. We do make exceptions, especially when someone maybe who's more established, like Jeannie Bird, they may be announcing a whole new product line soon, and we would invite Bernie to come present about that. And then we always ask, what can we do as a community to help you? Our organizing team of volunteers includes myself from Magic, Russ Hammett, Nikki Slinkman from Ting, who's here in the back, John Wheatman, attorney at law, so if you need any legal help, he's your guy. Tina Thomas from Infinite Love Project and Action for Kindness, Julia Snap from Dirigible Systems, and Gabby Rose, also from Magic, right here in the back. So without further ado, I'll bring up Kathleen first to do her presentation. Just give me a second to bring that up while she comes on up, and let's give her a warm welcome. Here's something for you. Big button is advanced, small button is back.
Got it. All right, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Kathleen Carpenter, and my business is Piano by Kathleen. My journey has not been a straight path whatsoever. So when I was 32, I decided that I was going to go into the military, all right at the cutoff age. And I was in the reserve for 8 years. And I worked with water after that. I went into the lab for 15 years. One day I decided to go back to school. And I said, what do you want to be when you grow up? Well, I want to be a vet tech. So I was all excited, and I went to vet tech school. And I got out and did my externship. And I cried all the time. I cried when I had to give the dog a shot. I cried when I had to put the cat in the freezer. I cried. My husband said, Kathleen, don't go away mad, just go away. You need to work with people. And I said, okay, great. So I went back to school. This time I went for drug addiction counseling. I thought, I'm great with people, I can work with people. So I wanted to bring all the women home with me. And my husband said, you need to work with inanimate objects. So we moved to California for 5 years. and I worked with inanimate objects. I went back to water. I worked for Culligan Water Conditioning out there, and I worked in a big warehouse, and I regenerated media and had it all. And then after that, I joined a band out there, and that's me and that big guitar there. And after that, I started playing ukulele out there. Ukulele is not that prominent here, but it is out west. And to me, ukulele, I play guitar, but ukulele is so much easier. It's a lot lighter, it's lightweight, there's only 4 strings, there's not 6. It's just, and you can put a low G string on that and just and play Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven. Yeah, that's great. So then I joined the railroad out there. I wanted to drive the train. So to drive the train out there, you have to be a car attendant, then a brakeman, then a fireman, and then an engineer. So I was a docent at the Sacramento Railroad Museum, and I also went to drive the train. But I got to be a car attendant and I got to be a brakeman. But then after that, COVID set in, it was time for us to move back to our Carroll County home, and so here I am. So anyway, there. So what does all this have to do with Piano by Kathleen? So I moved back home and I started to volunteer for Bill Murphy for Friends of Disabled Veterans for Carroll County. And I loved the stories that the veterans had to tell me. I loved driving them around. I've always loved driving. And it was great, and I could do it all the time. So my first challenge was, how can I balance work? My husband's retired, I gotta travel with them, I gotta work, I gotta travel, and I wanna help the helpless. So how can I do all this? So I had a brainstorm. Okay, I could travel, I could teach piano and ukulele for money, I could give free lessons to the disabled, and I would be happy. So next thing you know, I'm asking my husband, Frank, will you please move the dining room table out of the dining? He's like, why? Are you putting another dining room table in? I'm like, no, we're gonna go buy a baby grand piano. So that's what I did, and that's where I started the business. I sent out 22 flyers to the assisted living communities because I wanted to teach group ukulele. It's great for elderly people. They love it's good for their cognitive skills. And so I did that. I sent 45 flyers out to the public school system, even though you're not supposed to solicit. I really wasn't soliciting because I was just giving my flyers out to mention that I will teach to the disabled for free. So that wasn't like a solicit. And then I got my business cards made. And I joined Spin, and I worked with Tom Reserski. I got my LLC, I got my bank account, my little square to put on my phone, worked with Gretchen Lawfer for my website, and I started a GoFundMe fund because I not only wanted to teach ukulele to the elderly, but I wanted to make available free ukuleles that I could lend out for month to month. And then people could decide, I really can't play this, or I don't really want to play this, and then they could just give it back. So I did pretty good there. I made I think I wanted $500 in donations, and I got about $150 in cash. And then Kala Company, which is a ukulele company, I asked for dented, beat up ukuleles, and they sent me 6 free ukuleles brand in a box. I was
Wow.
amazed. So my challenge is today. I don't have a tax person yet. I have no idea if I have to do this on my own, regular. I don't have my liability insurance yet. I need a sign for my front of my house, so that would be good. And I don't like the way my website looks. I think it could do a little tweaking, and I should advertise in the newspaper. Yeah, so anyway, that was my primary goal, was to teach in a serene environment for all persons of all ages and abilities, and to make sessions accessible at any time and any place. And group ukulele lessons, I just will go in, and these people love Frank Sinatra and Perry Como and all these other people. So you know what, my dad would sing in my ear, and I would play piano, so I know a lot of those songs. So I think I can fit in good with the assisted living people. Thank you.
Stay right there, Kathleen. Let's open up to questions from the community here. First question from Tina from Infant Love Project.
Hi, thank you for all you're doing. I love your energy. This is fun.
Oh, good.
And it looks like you're having fun with it.
I
So can you go back one slide, actually one slide and then another slide to help us understand how we might be able to help you with your needs? Yeah, this slide you kind of went fast. If you want to bring up all of the
I
points
was
of
just
both sides. Yeah.
hang on. It's this one, right?
Yeah. We are a community that I think that can definitely help you in all of these areas. The only thing I would recommend is when it comes to advertising, that you start with grassroots PR first,
Okay.
rather than spending money on it. I mean, like what you're doing now is working well, I guess. And then, so then the question is, from a funding standpoint, the only thing that I saw monetarily was like in the next slide or two, where you, one song per month at a cost of like $40 or something like that.
Right.
So help us, I guess, understand your target market for raising funds. You're an LLC, but you have a GoFundMe. You're not a nonprofit. Help us understand the two markets you're hitting.
Oh, okay. So my GoFundMe fund was actually for ukulele donations. So that is basically an ongoing thing. It's not, I'm not gonna say it's over, but it's just ongoing. If I get donations, that's great. If I don't, that's okay too. I actually have 16 ukuleles so far.
Great.
And I did purchase some of those with the money that I've raised, and then I got donation. People actually had ukuleles in their basements that they donated to me. I mean, I really couldn't believe that at all. So that's one part of it. Now, so my business, I'm going to be teaching at the house, and what's unique about my business, other than I'm teaching the disabled for free, is that I will also teach partner lessons. So I have 2 keyboards, and if you want to play keyboards, I will sit both of you down at the same time. You split the cost. So say a lesson is $40 for half an hour for one person, but if you are 2 people coming in, a sibling or a mother-daughter or whatever, and then they split the cost, so it's 20 apiece. So they're making out, and I'm still staying, constant. So that's partner lessons, and then I do solo lessons. The group lessons, I would like to go into the assisted living facilities, and I've already printed out flyers and everything and sent them out. The assisted living facilities, I have 2 already. One is called Copper Ridge and one is called Atrium. And then Longview in Manchester, they had a COVID outbreak, but all 3 of those are meeting with me. And I'm going to be just charging $5 a person so they learn one song. So let's say Fly Me to the Moon, okay? We want to fly me to the moon, and we're going to learn that song in 1 month. All right, so you're going to have 4 lessons in 1 month. You're going to pay $5 a lesson. That's $20 per person, you know, and so you just multiply it out. And I don't know.
Okay.
If I falter, I will go to a 501c. That's.
Why do you not do that now? Why are you not operating as a nonprofit? Because clearly you have a mission that fits a kind of a nonprofit status. So why would you not operate that way now? Because there are funding sources available, and there is administrative help available, and Sharon can talk to that.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Well, there does seem to be a tension between you wanting to have a retirement income or to be able to travel with your husband during his retirement versus running something that would be a mission-based or a nonprofit. So is that why you haven't made that decision yet?
Yes.
You're kind of, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
You need your time to be fluid. You're available in certain increments of time.
I feel like there's some months have 5 weeks in them, and on the 5th week I'll just fly the coop. So.
Right. Any other questions? Yes, Chris from Carroll Tech Council.
Talk a little bit more about your challenge with liability insurance. I mean, what kind of challenges are you having there?
I just haven't purchased any yet. There's so many companies out there. They're like, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. Well, then here's this. It's so much. It's too much for me to. And I didn't want to put it on my homeowners. I wanted
Oh,
to
sure,
keep
yeah,
it
no,
separate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, what I'm going to be doing here, I'm just going to be giving an evaluation. I've been a Toastmaster for over 19 years. And just a couple points to grow. First of all, when you started, get to know me is basically what you said in your resume, and you did an excellent job of telling the audience who you are and what you're going to be doing. You had very good eye contact, and one of the important things that you used in your presentation was humor, and you're very confident, which is very, very important for a presenter. You also used 4 ahs and I think ums during the presentation. So that's the only thing you want to try to get away from. We all have the same thing, but if you try to work on that. But it was really good. Your challenges and your slides, you told people where you're at and where you want to go and what your challenges are. So I congratulate you on a great presentation and looking forward to your next one.
Yeah, it really was a great presentation.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Kathleen? Yes, Vicki from Ting.
Where is your home located?
In Manchester on Main Street, it's actually a
And that's why you're talking about a sign in front, because you're on Main Street?
there. That's a 1865 log cabin. That's our house. And so that was our dining room. It's not a dining room anymore. So I have, yeah. So I have all my guitars here, and here's my kala ukulele. That's an electric acoustic. But I have an electric keyboard here, and I have my baby grand here. So I can actually teach. I do. Well, actually, what happened was I had 2 students, a mother and a daughter. They just started. Everything was just starting up. And then I went to California for a little break, and I came back and I just had surgery. So it kind of like shattered this whole, so I'm vertical now.
Where in California do you live?
Roseville, Sacramento area.
Oh, okay, all right. And then tell us a little bit more about your musical background. It sounds like you had, a musical dad who sang to you, and then you kind of decided to play different instruments at different times in your life.
Yeah. Well, I've always played with somebody somewhere. I lived in Bangkok, Thailand for 5 years, so I took piano over there. I played piano since I was 5. I just stopped taking lessons. I've taken, you never stop learning something. Like, my husband's like, why, I don't believe you. Why are you taking lessons? And I'm like, well, you can always learn something new. And then, so but I studied everywhere. I went to Scottsdale, Arizona to boarding school, and I took piano there. I went to Bowie State, I took piano there. I've always played music, guitar or something, but ukulele's new to me, but I picked it right up because it's exactly like a guitar. Don't tell anybody.
You make it sound so easy. It sounds like you're a musical genius. All right. Who else has questions? Yes, Jack from
So-
BSSN.
Is the goal to provide primarily piano lessons, given the name?
I know, Piano by Kathleen, right. But when you Google my website and you say ukulele, it comes right up. Yeah.
Okay, so piano and ukulele, and
Right.
also guitar too,
And
or is,
eventually guitar, but I figured I'd start out small and expand.
And what was easier for your target clients? The disabled, the ukulele?
The ukulele's very
than the guitar.
easy, yes.
Yeah. Or piano.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many clients can you handle at any given time? Like, what's the maximum? What's success look like at scale for you?
Okay, well, my hours are untouchable. Okay, I'm gonna teach from 7 in the morning till 11 at night. Not everybody works a 9 to 5 job, or 7 to 3, or 3 to 11. So you need to be there for people. So if I open my business from 7 in the morning till 11 at night, I'm awake. I don't have a problem with that. My lessons are unprecedented because nobody teaches partner lessons. I teach partner lessons. It splits the cost. And parents love this with their little kids running around. Oh my God. Yeah, you take the kids this week, I'll take them next week. Okay, you can split the driving. It's a no-brainer.
Have you considered going to people's houses and teaching them that way?
I do that too. It's on my business card, it's on my website, yeah. And I wanted to shrink wrap the back panels of my car so that I could drive around in my car and when I go to people's houses,
Yeah, have like a car wrap to advertise.
Yeah.
Yes, please introduce yourself. Or either one of you.
My name's James Jones. I'm with Answer Tax and Business. And when did you start your business?
Actually, I started 2 weeks ago, but then I had surgery, so
Okay.
I had to put it on hold.
And you're a sole proprietor, you're an LLC?
LLC.
Okay. I can help you with your taxes if you need help.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sharon Tillman. I'm with the Community Foundation of Carroll County, and I wanted to just mention about valuing yourself. I think the opportunity is there if you're going to do partner lessons, that you charge a slightly higher rate. So it's $40 for a lesson. It's not $80 for a partner lesson, but maybe it's $50 or $55. Just to give more value to it. I find in business that sometimes the higher price you charge, the more value people find in it. And it's a great way for you to value yourself as well.
Thank you.
I would also wonder if she could have a suggested rate that's a higher amount, and then say, hey, if you can't afford it,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
donate what you can.
And that's where the idea of the nonprofit comes in,
Yeah.
where it's not about making money, but it's about valuing yourself and valuing the product that you're giving. And I think you're shooting a little low.
And spin off what Sharon said, maybe if you're going to travel to them, considering gas and everything's higher and more
It
convenience
is,
for them,
there's an
it's a higher price. Okay, good.
Yeah, I did put up that on my website.
So one area you might do some research in is self-directed care, especially in Maryland. So if you want to work with the disabled population and potentially get paid, so what self-directed care is in a nutshell is people who qualify with certain disabilities can get money from the state of Maryland to direct their own care. So they can do things like hire a personal trainer if they want to exercise in a certain way, rather than if they want to do music therapy that's not offered by somewhere, that they can do that. So you might look into what, if there's self-directed care sort of offerings out there, and usually, again, like I said, they're creating a care team that fits them, and if that's the population you want to serve, while also getting paid, not becoming a for-profit or a non-for-profit business, that might be a direction to look at.
Well, the reason why I came up with the group ukulele lessons at the assisted living was because it's so great for their cognitive skills. They remember those songs from years and years ago, and it's really good for them. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, Cassie with Homegrown Million. So I kind of wanted to go back on the whole nonprofit piece, and first off, have you ever done any studying on music therapy?
I wanted to go to school.
Which is kind of why I brought it up. I figured maybe you just didn't mention it. It seems like you're a self-taught person.
No, I didn't get to that with school, but I was thinking about it.
Well, I think it's something. I think you can just take classes on it, but it would be a great complement to go with the disabled. Like you said, it's great for their cognitives and things like that. But I think a lot of people also miss. I think he's absolutely right as to why you haven't flip the script yet to go over to get your nonprofit. I think with your basis of your premise of your business, that's really where you want to be. And I think a lot of people get held up on it because they think they can't make money when they do a nonprofit, and that's not the case. You just build it into your salary. As long as you are putting the money right back into your business, you can make the money you need to make. And I think that would actually benefit your platform.
And if I could interject, as a member of the Community Foundation of Carroll County, which is where Sharon is from, they're there to support people who don't know enough or need the supports to become a nonprofit. They do all the admin for you. They walk you through everything. You don't have to.
Well, you don't have to file for your own 501c3.
You don't have to file for your own 501c3. You're under their umbrella. So, my recommendation is to definitely make an appointment to see them.
Okay.
Talk them through. See if it is a fit for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then the last question, are we at that time?
Well, okay, Bill.
I got one. I just want to make one point what Chris said back there about the disabled. I'm working with a gentleman up in Manchester, and the Comcast has a program where if you're disabled, they will give you internet access and possibly a tablet for like $10 a month. So if anybody knows any disabled people, I've directed so far 2 people to, and they're both working with the gentleman up in Carroll County. So it's Bill Murphy, Friends of Disabled Veterans in Carroll County, and we're on the internet and website.
Okay, thank you, Bill. All right, and the last question we always ask, as Tina is about to ask, is
what can we as a community do to help you?
Well, I think you just gave me a lot of ideas. And now I just have to write them all down. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kathy. All right, let's take a minute to switch over to our next presenter, Chris from MdSkyshot, or MdSkyshot. And I think I need to release control so he can take over. Oh, yeah. Please feel free to fill back up on coffee. Are there any more pastries left?
There's a few in here. I'm not going to throw in the coffee, but if you need to, I'll get out of the way.
Go.
Please.
That'd be great. Okay, how do you take it? A little cream in it or whatever. That'd be great. Thank you.
Here, and I was like, I wonder if anybody sees the coffee. It's very important.
Wow, it's been a minute. I was thinking about you not long ago. Oh, I know somebody that's a baby shower at our house. stay in one of them, so I don't know if that is fine or not.
Sometimes I just don't know.
Just run around.
Not super big, but,
I was gonna say, I was like, nope, that's good, I was like.
You know what?
We were actually in the I love the one that shows up in the
All right, let's get settled.
Did you see your name up there? Where's your next trip?
All right, so I'm going to introduce our next presenter. This is Chris from MdSkyshot. Chris, take it away.
So nice of a platform. I'm ready to just keep talking about pianos. My name is Chris, and I get to turn the conversation to drones. Fun stuff. So I am a licensed 107 pilot, remote, and my goal is to make it easier for our businesses and our community to have aerial images. All types, photos, videos, and what I prefer to do is make orthomosaic maps and what I like to call digital twins for property and modeling purposes. I'm trying to service construction, real estate, roofing, landscaping, lots of businesses that we all use. Of course, I like taking pictures of houses and making great. Lots of times I'm on construction sites, so large sites. Like to produce reports and put all of the different scopes of deliverables that we can produce, from flying over fairly quickly and produce project reports that give clear oversight for all departments in the industries. Usually those will include a photo report, a video report. 360 panoramas have become pretty hot. They give the ability to pinpoint an area and see from any direction what's going on at any given time. And I do like to, these are some examples of the 3D models. A lot of Amazon warehousing and large-scale commercial development companies are using these models to do pavement and building assessments, log documentation of their properties. Currently, most of my days are filled with the national company's time. I fly for DroneBase and Droners.io, B360, and I'm registered on all these platforms. I'd like to find my own organic businesses and customers, preferably local here in Westminster. I have attended pretty much every school in the area and have lived in the area for 30 years, so I'm tied to the area and I love it. I think I'm in New Windsor for one of these companies in a big house. Kind of hurts to be right next door and working for somebody in California. about all I have for today.
Thank you. All right, we'll start. Jack, go right ahead.
Maybe I'm the only one who doesn't know, but what is orthomosaic mapping?
So it's photogrammetry, which is the ability to stitch pictures together and get measurements and accurate representation of large scale objects. So a picture that we could take and wouldn't do justice to most of the areas. We stitch multiple thousands of pictures together. And we can also isolate those pictures and go in from large detail to minute detail.
How much detail, what's the resolution and measurements you can get down to?
All of that is dependent on the program software, and I'm a drone pilot, so I will deflect to the specs of the software I'm using. Usually it's within a half a centimeter or whatever than that. Depends on ground control points and whether or not you tie those in with the map processing.
Vicki from Ting.
Hi, good morning. So what's your background? What made you want to get into being a drone pilot?
Seemed like a lot of fun before you threw a couple $1,000 in. So like I said, I have attended a bunch of schools in the area, McDaniel, when it was Western Maryland College, and the Carroll classes. Carroll has a drone program that I've been through. It's been an interest of mine throughout the years, and in the past couple of years, there's been a large influx of law changes and or adjustments to the abilities of the drones, camera adjustments, ease of use, softwares that are now, third-party software has had time to develop and be implemented on platforms that are trustworthy and mass producible. So I think right now it's just, for me, I saw the window, and I come from a carpentry background. I've been a carpenter in the area for about 30 years. I like working with my hands and producing something at the end of the day, and this was just less labor and a way to do it.
So I guess you or your drone is licensed?
Yes, I'm a licensed 107 pilot. My drones are insured and registered. They are not licensed. I get to carry that.
I thought the government makes you licensed. Is it you or is it the
government through the FAA register your drones? The FAA will license a pilot.
I see.
And then of course businesses will make you carry insurance.
Right. Okay. Great.
I was just curious, you hit on every aspect that you work with. Is there any benefit to agriculture with what you do?
So absolutely. Currently, the drones are starting to not only do the mapping for fields and for insurance purposes, loss of product or documentation. They're getting tools, and that's why I would like to be in the business now and watch the growth of the drones. Pesticides, application of chemicals, fertilizers, all of that, pretty soon we won't have just tractors, we'll have flying tractors.
Carl knows a thing or two about that.
So there's also the irrigation for farming. They use drones for that. And weed detection. I've seen them starting to use drones for weed detection.
If you apply a different camera, you can read the leaves.
So what kind of drones? Tell us about your drones, equipment, the stuff that you have.
For my video and photo productions, I usually fly a Air 2S, which is about a $1,000 platform that meets all my requirements, will post to social media and websites in their preferred formats, and meets a fairly low price point for me. For a lot of my orthomosaic or stitching flights, I fly a Mavic 2 Pro, which is that and the Phantom 4 Pro are the two reliable platforms that you can trust. It's kind of funny with these drones due to the software that you use and the timing of things. You don't want the newest and latest and greatest. The newest, latest, and greatest will just get you in trouble. It hasn't been tested. It's not compatible with the software or even your screen if you're running, an outside screen. So currently I have 2 drones insured.
One of your slides you showed you had the 2 logos for what I assume are like clearing houses or where drone base and droners. Are those like, for lack of a better term, like Airbnb for drone? Like somebody go on that site if they're looking for somebody in their area with it.
These are national companies that I'm registered with, and the old 80-20 rule. Most of my time is filled for them instead of my own MdSkyshot.
Well, that is a way to be found, because if you're on those, I mean, that goes back to SEO and being found, and the more you are found, the more you get found.
It works. I'm a pretty honest guy, though. I show up and I will work for those companies and try and do the best job that I can. I ain't thinking about stealing a customer. I'd rather come across it organically. So.
Well, in talking with Chris, that is his main, I think, the main problem you're trying to solve is differentiating yourself at MdSkyshot as a business that has its own marketing, branding, persona here in this region.
Right, so my understanding is that currently you're using the drone base and the droners to help you make money in the market, but the 2 markets that you really want to be in are geographically Maryland, because this is where you live, but then help us understand the market that jazzes you when you're taking shots. Is it the stitching together? Do you want to dive into the farm that you haven't done, or what jazzes you?
I found that, and surprisingly, I can jump on Facebook and watch planning commission meetings and all these 1 or 2 viewer government productions, and I really get involved. I love it, and I'd like to help out the commissioners see their projects. I watched the land surveyors put up their infographics and visuals, and I can't read them. I come from a carpentry background. I do this stuff myself and use ArcGIS software, and I can't tell what they're trying to show. So I believe my product can display images and communicate better than what we are currently using in our government and in our decision making as a community. And as I'm getting older, that's what I'd really like to do. I'd like to try to find some way to give back a little bit. And while I like working for the construction companies, I find that I would like to tie some good into what I'm doing. I watch way too many little raccoons run out of the woods as the equipment's pulling in to feel really good about things going on. So.
Yeah, I got one quick. My background also is in construction for over 40 years. I used to sell tower cranes like up in New York City, and you got to be very, very careful because they have throughout the United States, have your air rights right on top of where that building is. Do you have any restrictions as far as when you're going out to a certain site and say like a high-rise building over in, say, Fairfax, Virginia and things like that, or?
A laundry list.
Long list.
So the rules right now are the FAA rules the air. As Westminster goes, we could make a rule that says you can't fly drones here. And it would only work in the area that we stated it is. Currently, if you just step across the line, your drone can fly anywhere it wants, as long as it's in compliance with the FAA. So that's the big umbrella. We fly under the rules of the national FAA. And then anyone can pretty much make a drone rule. So it's being a drone pilot is being the go-between between business or client and the drone. Sometimes I feel like a dog trainer, and sometimes I feel like I'm mowing the lawn. And a lot of times I feel like I'm just figuring out what works for the client and the deliverable we're trying to produce. The right drone, the right time for the laws, and the right process for the deliverable.
Thank you.
I just want to comment on what you said about wanting to sort of give back a little bit to the community. Carl and I were working on this project we called the Autonomous Corridor Project, where we were actually doing LiDAR scans of Main Street, and we needed to do some aerial drone photography, photogrammetry. I'm saying that word correctly. And we went to the Civil Air Patrol, and the Civil Air Patrol, for a nominal fee, their students, and well, it wasn't even their students, it was like the gentleman who helped run the organization, right? Yeah. They worked with us, and then they worked with the Air Force, and they got everything they needed from the FAA, so we didn't have to deal with any of that. And for a fairly nominal fee, they did the photogrammetry, ortho, whatever. I apologize. I should know these terms. But that's an ongoing project, and if that's something that you want to get involved in, we'd be happy to bring you into that project. And that's something that the city is supportive of. There could be some budget from the city at some point. There isn't right now. They're still deciding on what to approve. But so far, a lot of it's been just us sort of giving of our time and resources, especially Carl with his company.
I'd certainly like to be a resource for that.
Yeah, that would be great. And then there's a second project that I think it's Towson University researchers have been doing drone flights over Westminster to count trees, I think is what it is.
The trees, and they're doing multispectral imagery over there, looking at the trees and other aspects of the ground and shading and stuff.
So I know we've been trying to get more information about that relationship the city has with Towson to maybe see how we could, benefit in terms of the data assets that they're generating to put towards this other project. So again, there's another drone opportunity that the city is involved in that I'd be happy to make some introductions.
I think we're pretty forward thinking, and I think that the drone laws are changing very quickly right now, and the more people we have and the more projects we have going on, the more tube socks we're going to get from Walmart in the mail. From drone. So I want to make sure that I'm stepping up to support what interests are out there.
Awesome. Any other questions or comments for Chris? Yes, Chris.
I wonder if anybody shot at any of your drones.
No, not yet. I feel rather lucky. I get people distracting me from work and being nice more than I've gotten any hecklers or hagglers.
Yeah, hey, you get that thing out from over my property.
Not too much of that.
So it sounds like what jazzes you is also ground floor building opportunity to help connect the dots of what you do and what you know with the way government and policy and everything is currently working, knowing it's cutting edge and turning over constantly.
Yeah, sounds fun.
So grateful that you presented here today because I think we're going to be able to help you with some connections and I think the community will benefit from your insight.
I like to think so. Like these drones are changing fast, and it takes the experience and the hands-on trial and error to get it rolling. But once they're rolling, they're putting down data and information faster than anything else.
Right. And the biggest key for me is that you're part of our community and you want to help our community, and that's what cool.
And what can we as a community do to help you?
Don't use them.
Is it MdSkyshot.com?
Yep, there's a website and you can get on me.
And say that again, what is it?
MdSkyshot.com.
MdSkyshot.com.
Thank you, Chris. All right, well, we've got 10 minutes. We can either spend that just you all getting to know each other a little bit before we all adjourn, or we can do a community update. Do you have a community update?
I can do an update and a closeout.
Yeah, oh yes, I'm sorry.
It's like,
No worries.
How many did you Is
So I want to thank everybody for attending. It's so great to see everybody and the support that we have in our entrepreneurial community, and that we have so many people wanting to give back to the community as they build their business, as they figure out how they can, make money. I was talking to one of our new team members saying, money flows, and it's a thing of how can we help each other make sure that we're swimming, and nobody's doggy paddling, nobody's in distress, everybody's just getting it done and helping each other out. And the 1 Million Cups entrepreneurial community in Westminster is awesome. Thank you to Magic for bringing Kaufman to us. Thank you to Startup Portal for helping host us occasionally. Thank you to the American Iced Coffee for the go-go juice. We needed it this morning. And Jeannie Bird for the treats, the sweet treats. Thank you to all of our entrepreneurs who present today. It's Kathleen and Chris. Next week it could be you. Go to 1millioncups.com. That's the number 1millioncups.com/Westminster. Click apply to present. That's how we can plug you into our support system for entrepreneurs and how we can help each other in our community, grow our community, by our community, for our community. Sometimes we have one presenter, sometimes we have two. We hope next time it's you. Thanks, take care.